Okay, we'll get started. Thank you so much for joining me today on this chronic fatigue recovery wellness recovery call. Like I said earlier, there's quite a few people from New Zealand here, so I know it's a little bit late, so thank you for joining us. What I'll do is I'll go into a PowerPoint so that you can follow along as I speak. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll just give me a moment and I'll share the screen. Okay, so I've got all your names coming up on the side. So sometimes it blocks my PowerPoint, so I might have to move it around occasionally. Actually, I might just see if I can dim it a bit more. Okay, that's better. So here we go, we'll get started. So my name's Hayley Turner, and today I'll be talking about chronic fatigue, the root causes behind it, and how you can recover. So we'll get started. So first of all, we'll be covering the root cause of chronic fatigue and why you may not have learned this from your doctor or your practitioner or anyone else you may have seen over the years, and how you can finally start to heal. Just a little bit about me. So I basically had chronic fatigue. I was diagnosed around 19 years old. That's when I first started really going to many doctors and getting diagnosed with just low iron and, you know, desperate for answers because I knew it was more than that. As you would know, if you have that, it's very debilitating. You just sleep and sleep and sleep and still feel like you've had no sleep. You know, the brain fog and just everything that goes with it. I was just sensitive to everything. This is, you know, I'm now in my mid-40s, so it was a long time ago. There wasn't a lot of talk about, you know, many food sensitivities and that as well. So that set me on a journey to really find out for myself, and I just researched and read and went to courses, you know, many different things to find out what's going on. So I studied integrative nutrition. I've also studied Manise's medical medium practitioner course. She's one of Anthony's practitioners, and I trust and share the work of Anthony William from the medical medium. His teachings have become a major part of my coaching practice, and this is what my lifestyle, this is what I apply for myself and what I have finally gotten answers with, you know, using his healing protocols. So that's what I'll mostly be sharing with you today. I tried everything under the sun, every diet. I did paleo for years, all sorts of things. And whilst that was helpful with, you know, getting off the processed foods, it really wasn't, you know, healing me. And yeah, it was keeping me stuck, and now I understand why. So I studied a lot of psychology, the Demartini method. I don't know if you know Dr. John Demartini.
Having a Black Friday.
Sorry, I'll just, if you can, would you mind muting if you have joined us? I can't see you all. If you can just mute your, there we go, thank you. So yeah, I've studied Dr. John Demartini, which is amazing with the mindset and behavior, human behavior. I've done the life coaching course, EFT, which is amazing emotional freedom technique, which helps remove and eliminate and reduce emotional charges of the past or in the present. The matrix reimprinting, similar. I really loved the psychosomatics behind illness as well, so the emotions behind them. So I did a lot of study around that as well. And I'm also a special needs teacher, so I've done that I do that only part-time now though. So I've done that for many years as well. So let's move on. So my little, not little, but my background of a few of the things that I had. So as I mentioned, chronic fatigue syndrome. Last year I got Ross River virus from mosquito. I had severe strep, Epstein-Barr virus, the leaky gut, constant bloating, cytomegalovirus, which is another one of the herpetic family, shingles when I was only 23 years old, all up the side of my back, which was extremely painful, eczema all over my legs, acne, thyroid issues, low vitamins and minerals absorption, very toxic liver, extreme food intolerances and chemical sensitivities, fibroids, menstrual pain, impetigo, which is I used to get this nose sore under my nose, which is like kind of like a cold sore. It's from strep, and toenail fungus, and many more things. So I just wanted to reiterate, I'm not a doctor, I'm not here to treat, diagnose or cure, but I'm here to share my experience, knowledge and understanding of the root cause of chronic fatigue and what has helped me finally start to heal. So basically this webinar is for people with chronic fatigue, but it's also if you have, a lot of what I'm talking about can be applied to multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis and thyroid issues and a lot more other things. The list is there, the ongoing fatigue, the bloating, the brain fog, sleep issues, flu symptoms, joint pain, heart palpitations, chemical sensitivities, food sensitivities, anxiety, depression, migraines, muscle weakness, tingling and numbness, dizziness, hormone changes, night sweats. This is also for you if you have lost hope. So, you, like me, you've been to so many doctors and practitioners or even healers, and you've just not gotten results. So I'm here to help with that and, just to give you hope that there is hope, there is an answer, there is a physical, tangible reason why you have chronic fatigue. And also give you hope that your body can heal, because sometimes we lose a lot of hope and think we're never going to, get better. Also, if you are confused, you're still not sure what's causing your illness and you've been on so many diets like myself, trying this, trying that, and you're just so confused now of what you should and shouldn't eat, so I can clear that up. And if you feel unsupported, I know many of you, I know from my experience as well, family and friends and many people that I speak with, they just don't feel supported because it is a bit of an invisible kind of illness. You look fine, but, people don't see what's happening in the background and, all the sleeping that you're doing just to go out or on the weekends so you can get through your work week. So I'm here to support you with that as well. Just mute. Sorry, just mute if you are on, and if you could please just mute yourself, that would be wonderful. I'm just going to try and mute a few people. That's not working. Just a moment. Mute. Oh, there we go. Great. So also if you feel unsupported and want to reclaim your health and life back. So the main causes of chronic disease are toxins, pesticides, standard Australian diet, chronic stress, viruses. These are all things that weaken your immune system. And, they're really at the root cause of what's causing a lot of the problems today. The 6 main ones in particular. So the Epstein-Barr virus has 4 stages. I'll be talking about that a lot today. And the HHV6, the HHV7, cytomegalovirus, shingles and strep. All of these are from the herpetic family except for strep. So basically what I'm going to talk about is the Epstein-Barr virus, and that is actually what is the root cause of chronic fatigue. So it actually has 4 stages, and you know, it's with you basically for life unless you go on a healing protocol. Most people have it, but it's not always, you know, at the aggressive stage or the 4th stage. So due to different reasons I'll explain later. So how you're infected, it can be passed down. It's just being passed down now from, you know, from mother to child, blood transfusion, eating out, body fluids, and at the 1st stage, it's not contagious until it gets to the 2nd stage, which is glandular fever. So these are some of the root causes of Epstein-Barr virus. So it's chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, tinnitus, lupus, Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, vertigo, hepatitis C, sarcoidosis, I'm going to say that one, eczema and psoriasis, thyroid disorders, Raynaud's syndrome, celiac, breast cancer, hypoglycemia, type 2 diabetes, cystic fibrosis, Cushing's syndrome, infertility, miscarriage, and menopause. So that's another very misunderstood thing that a lot of women go through, particularly that last one. It's Epstein-Barr virus, which is causing all of those menopause symptoms. So you can get symptoms such as ongoing fatigue, joint pain, insomnia, brain fog, unexplained hair loss, tingling and numbness, spasms, anxiety and depression, unexplained weight gain, loss, high cholesterol, loss of libido, muscle cramps, abnormal menstrual cycle, migraines, blurred vision, heart palpitations, mood swings, night sweats, tightness in your chest, and hypertension. So, you know, some people believe that there's lots of different other things relating to these things, but at the root cause, it's the Epstein-Barr virus. So stage 1 is dormant. Like I said, it's just dormant. It's not really showing any symptoms. Most people have it when they're quite young. And it's just slowly sort of replicating. It's undetected in a blood test. So if you go, you won't get it tested. It won't show up in the bloodstream. And well, it won't show up in the test. And it sits and waits patiently and, you know, gaining strength. It can be just weeks or decades. And then it just waits until it wants to launch into an infection. And stage 2, also, first of all, I'll explain the triggers. So it just sits there in each stage until there's a trigger, which is exhaustion and not giving yourself enough rest, and you just keep going and going and going. That can trigger it to come out and go to the next stage. If you undergo an traumatic emotional experience, a breakup, a death of a loved one, it can be all sorts of things. You know, even just like an emotion of severe betrayal or financial, losing jobs, things like that. Any major hormonal change, puberty, pregnancy and menopause, when the hormones are increased, it signals the Epstein-Barr virus to come out and go to the next stage. And if you're deprived in zinc and B12, it's most people are these days, even if you eat meat. So the viruses detect your stress-related hormones and then they take advantage of you. So stage 2 is when they're ready to do battle. This is the glandular fever. Most people have heard of that. And this is when it's most contagious and it will show up in a blood test. Again, it can range from minor to major symptoms, you know, like fatigue and things like that. But then what it does is it makes its home into your organs, particularly the liver and the spleen, and it eats certain foods and heavy metals. And I'll go into that more too. It also has a cofactor strep and sort of goes hand in hand with it. So viruses begin to nest in your organs and they cause, you know, they inflame and enlarge the organs, and it multiplies inside the liver. It can, you know, just sit there for a little while or for absolutely decades, waiting for the right time, you know, to go again to the next stage. At this stage, it's undetectable in a blood test. It'll show that you've had it in the past, so not currently, because it's not in your bloodstream, it's in your organs. And it's just causing new symptoms, unless you go on a healing protocol to remove it from your, you know, eliminate it, kill it off, diet, you know, kill it off basically. Okay, so stage 3. So what I'll just talk about a little bit about the Epstein-Barr virus and why it's such a problem. So yes, it's the Epstein-Barr virus, but it's more to do with what it does. So sorry, I've just got new people. I'll just have to mute you because it's a bit noisy. Hi everyone, if you've just joined, would you mind just pushing mute on your screen? That would be great.
How much I push?
Oops.
Well, I don't think it's actually really hard.
I'm just trying to do it for you. There we go, great. So, okay, so the Epstein-Barr virus does two things. So in the body, what it does is it eats like us. It loves to eat on certain foods. There's 6 main ones I'll talk about. And it also loves to eat on toxic heavy metals. Actually, there's 3 things. It loves to eat adrenaline as well. So the adrenaline that's going through your body, it thrives on that as well. So, and this can trigger a false Lyme disease as well. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, basically when it feeds, it then goes to the toilet like us, and that toxic waste matter is actually really poisonous to our body. And that's what's causing a lot of the problems. It's a neurotoxin, and it goes into the central nervous system and into the brain, causes all the brain fog and our body to become really fatigued. It also creates dermatoxins. So that's also, there's so many things other than chronic fatigue. So the dermatoxin is excreted as well, and that is related to eczema and dermatitis and things like that. So there, when the cells of the virus die, it's left behind, and yeah, it's very poisonous to the body. And yes, so basically at this stage you may develop food sensitivities, foods that didn't bother you before, and it bides its time here until it's again got another trigger. And we'll just go to the next. Oops. So also here in stage 3, this is also lupus, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's and Graves. So anything to do with the thyroid, it then moves from the liver into your thyroid. So again, I just want to reiterate, your body isn't attacking the thyroid. It's actually the Epstein-Barr virus that's attacking your thyroid. It's completely the opposite of, I know, what you've probably been taught. So it's quite a relief, because that way you know if you can kill off the virus, then your symptoms go. So it's not your body that's at fault, it's the virus that's attacking your thyroid. So it literally twists and spins and drills and burrows into your thyroid and attacks the tissue. And it confuses your immune system. So with all the neurotoxins and the waste products, it can't find and destroy the Epstein-Barr virus. So also symptoms at this stage, you might find food sensitivities, weight gain, fatigue, mental fogginess, impaired memory, depression, hair loss, insomnia, brittle nails, muscle weakness, and much more. So at stage 4, this is the main one that refers to us with chronic fatigue. So it leaves the thyroid, again, due to one of the triggers that I mentioned earlier. And what it does is it goes to your central nervous system. So it, again, a physical or emotional injury, can even be a physical one that causes a lot of stress on the body. And blood tests, x-rays, MRIs will reveal nothing wrong with you. So they won't be aware that it's actually the virus that's causing your inflamed nerves. So the injured nerves trigger an alarm hormone to notify the body that the nerves are exposed and need repair. The Epstein-Barr virus detects that hormone and rushes over and latches onto the damaged nerves, and it makes this area inflamed, and that's why with fibromyalgia as well, and the pain that you can get from that, because it's all flared up. You can get muscle pain, joint pain, back pain, tingling and numbness, migraines, ongoing fatigue, dizziness, eye floaters, insomnia, night sweats, memory loss, brain fog. Again, you could have a misdiagnosis of perimenopause and menopause. It's the Epstein-Barr virus. yeah, not what you may think. So at this fourth stage, this is the chronic fatigue syndrome, the fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog, memory loss, tremors, twitches, rheumatoid arthritis. And when the virus is fed, it releases poisons called neurotoxins. And at the same time, what also causes a lot of problems is the die-off. So as we're on a healing protocol as well, we start to kill off the virus, but the actual die-off of the dead cells also causes neurotoxins. So there's other things you can do though to help with eliminate that from the body as you go, once you're healing as well. So there's a few factors in healing. So Epstein-Barr virus doesn't work alone. It also works with a combination of the unforgiving four. So I'll just explain the unforgiving four, which are viruses, so other viruses, heavy metals in our body, radiation, and toxic exposure, pesticides such as DDT. So at the moment, well, for a long time, heavy metals are actually passed down from generation to generation, just straight in, it's just getting passed on straight into to our children now. So it's the, and it's in the liver especially as well. So the mercury, the cadmium, nickel, aluminium, lead. So these foods are, these are found in foods, in fillings, environment, in cosmetics, cleaning products, water. They're just everywhere. And they love to bury into the liver. And so that's another important part of healing, is cleansing the liver, because we all have them and they're in the brain as well. And the virus loves to feed on these, but it's okay, we can get them out. I just wanted to note while we're here that we are all bio-individual, so everyone is affected differently. And so you may be wondering, why does someone else have Epstein-Barr virus? And, they're not having the symptoms that you're having. It's because, we all have a different one. We all have our pathways to excretion, and removing the pathways in our lymphatic system or our kidneys and stools and things like that are all different. And also we all have different amounts of heavy metals in our body and other viruses that might be playing a part, or bacteria as well. So there's so many different factors as to why one person can have so many symptoms and another one won't. So the second unforgiving four is radiation. As you know, it's everywhere. Even the nuclear radiation, it's still actually in the air and the oceans and the environment, the EMFs, the X-rays and imaging that we have, mobile phones. So, some people can have a lot more radiation in them than others, as I said. The DDT, that big long word, I won't try and explain, try and read. So the insecticides and pesticides. So this is one that's very much passed on. You might think, I haven't been exposed much to that, but your parents and grandparents and so on were highly exposed to it. It wasn't known at one stage just how, poisonous this was, and it's still causing a lot of problems in people's bodies. The Roundup, the glyphosate in the food and the water we drink and bathe in. So this was a big one for me, the glyphosate. I had a lot of that in me. And the herbicides and the phosphate, we get it from pharmaceuticals and household products. So that's the third one, or the fourth one. So basically, Epstein-Barr virus with one or two or more of the unforgiving four is what is causing chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and a lot of the symptoms, other symptoms that go with it. So this information really is meant to empower you so that you're able to do something about it. For so long, I was just didn't know what to do. I was just desperate for answers. I went all around Australia, Sydney, Perth, Sunshine Coast, everywhere, just looking for answers, seeing different practitioners to healers, spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars literally learning and seeing people and trying to find an answer. And, you know, there just wasn't one. You know, no one really knew. And so, you know, I just want to cut out the time for people so that they can get the answers and, you know, heal and go on a healing protocol if they wish to do so. So, you know, the aim is to get that Epstein-Barr virus dormant, and also removing the heavy metals and all the foods that, you know, feed this virus, and whatever else is going on as well. You know, I look at people's whole profile just to see what else is going on. You know, like myself, I had a whole heap of other things, and strep included. So yeah, we want to put the body in a position to heal itself. We want to get rid of the toxic load in the body, so that the liver so that you can starve the Epstein-Barr virus and cleanse. So cleansing the liver. I did a live the other day on how important the liver is. So that's another thing that I work with people on, and myself, is there's so many amazing things you can do to just gently heal the liver and cleanse it and detox it, not in a severe way that, you know, there's a lot of liver detoxes out there and they're too harsh, and the liver doesn't like that. It's very intelligent, it's amazing, and it wants to just have the right environment so it can do it itself. Okay, and also in the liver, that's where all the heavy metals are stored, and the virus sits. So that's another reason we want to cleanse the liver. So with food, there are specific foods that fight the Epstein-Barr virus. There are specific foods that remove the heavy metals from your liver and your brain in a really safe way. And it's just from beautiful, certain particular foods. So, you know, you're just doing it in an enjoyable way. And it's one of the most effective, literally, ways to do this on the planet. You know, if you can get that mercury out of your brain and your liver, it can help with so many things. And even mood and all sorts of things. It's linked to a lot of emotional stuff, anxiety and depression. Lower the viral load, of course, like I spoke about. And, you know, overall, this will lower your viral load. So the no foods. Anthony calls them the no foods. So basically, these are the top foods. I actually haven't included pork. That is actually one of them as well. It's far too high in fat, and the liver just can't cope with that, and it just kind of feeds it. So eggs is number one. Eggs were actually used in the labs to create the virus. So back in the 30s, I think, in the 1930s or 40s, it was created or discovered. The Epstein-Barr was discovered by Anthony Epstein-Barr, so another Anthony, and they used eggs to grow it. And so somehow it's ended up in our systems, but there's over 60 varieties now, and they're very aggressive. So the original one wasn't, it was quite mild, and that's why people didn't have all these symptoms before. But now they're very aggressive. They just get in there and cause a lot of problems. So eggs is number one that feeds the virus. Dairy is very close second, of any kind, even just a drop. Gluten, wheat, corn, soy, and canola oil. So basically you want to remove these foods from your diet so that you starve the virus and it can die off and no longer cause your problems. The healing protocol really does involve a lot more fruit and vegetables, especially raw, eating lots of fruit. So again, pretty much everything I have learnt is the opposite of what I learnt at nutrition school. And the good thing is you can eat lots of fruit. It is so healing. It's the number one healing food, and it's just amazing. It has amazing probiotics and very, very creates a lot of good bacteria in the body. You don't have to worry about the sugars. It's perfectly fine. I can go into that another time. Removing heavy metals from the liver, organs and brain, and lowering your fat intake. So basically our livers are overloaded. So they're full of you know, all the pesticides and the heavy metals and everything, and the viruses, etc. And so what happens is, as soon as you add fat in, like whether it's good or bad fat from meat or too many avocados, too many nuts, too many oils, too many seeds, it just goes under the umbrella of just fat, and it's too overloaded, and your liver needs glucose, the natural beautiful glucose sugar from fruits and critical clean carbs, and like sweet potato, pumpkin and potato. And if you are putting too much fat in, then your liver can't absorb the glucose, and therefore it makes it very difficult to heal. So that's another story altogether, because we've been taught to have lots of protein, and it really is, protein just equals fat, and your body can create the protein itself from plants and different things. It doesn't want as much as we're all giving it. So a little bit about, you know, I really believe you can heal yourself. The body can, given the right environment, but it also comes with commitment and willingness, being mindful of our eating habits, being mindful of our self-talk, facing our fears and our past. So, you know, sometimes we need to bring in a bit of that emotional healing, cravings, so understanding those. Oops, my light's just gone off. So, which is deeper than food, as to why we have the cravings, being mindful of how we are reacting to life. You know, as you start to cleanse physically, you also start to cleanse emotionally. It's all just sort of goes hand in hand. So it's important to have a support system, you know, emotional support from partner, family, friends, a health coach or a practitioner. This is really important. You know, the journey can feel very lonely. Like I said in the beginning, it is kind of an invisible illness that not many people understand unless you've gone through it. So having support really helps. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to end a little bit on, you know, your body really does want you to heal and is doing everything it can to help you. You know, I know the struggles you're going through. I've been there for many years. But, you know, really have faith, have compassion for yourself. You know, we sort of beat ourselves up a bit. You know that you really do deserve to heal and that you can heal. You really can. If you would like to know more about, if you're interested and wanted any help with this, I would love to help you. I take people through in the beginning, like 3 months, so that they can learn what's going on in their body. I do a thorough health assessment, see everything that's going on to get a big picture, to see if it's the viruses, the bacterias, all sorts of other things as to what's going on in your body. And I help people set up an individual healing protocol for their body that's going to work for them. And then they can learn everything, what's causing it, and then how, you know, help them set them up on the journey so they can continue to heal. I give a beginner's guide, so break it all down. So everything we've discussed on the call, it's all in there in a simplified version. I know a lot of people love all the medical medium books, the 5 of them, but you know, they are thick and there's a lot of information. I know a lot of people don't have they've got the brain fog and they just don't have the energy to read all that. So I give a very simplified version. Provide resources, unlimited email support and texting, and emotional support you. And I've just got to meet someone new coming in. So if I can work that out again, it's just a little bit tricky. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, I'll keep going. Yeah, and I provide emotional freedom, emotional techniques to help you along the way as you're detoxing, and I can help you, work out, are you having a detox symptom or a flare-up? So they're quite different as well. and just help supporting you through all those sorts of things. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And if you would love to know more, I'd love to give you a complimentary 30-minute wellness recovery call. You can go to my Facebook page. I'll put up the calendar, and you can just go on and look at a time that might suit you. Or you can email me down below or give me a call. That is absolutely fine. If you have any even if you just have questions, this might be brand new to you, or you might know about it, anything at all, I just absolutely love to help you, save you the time, and help you on your healing journey with recovering from chronic fatigue. Yeah. So thank you again, and have a lovely night. Talk to you soon. Bye.